Hi everyone, this is Jose for On Tour in the city of Reading, Pennsylvania, discovering its unique history that made them a worldwide name when it came to railroads. On this tour, we'll climb the top of Mount Penn to explore the beautiful sceneries and an unusual structure in these industrial regions. Then, we'll take a stroll along the train lines that hosted world-famous names created into a token for the game of Monopoly. So let's go on tour and explore the city of Reading. Reading, Pennsylvania, a city synonymous with railroads. Reading has renowned train lines that transport anthracite coal from Northeast PA all throughout the Commonwealth. The city has seen vast changes since the industrial boom. A place once active with iron and steel is now a cultural hub of food and art. And Reading pushes forward as a Pennsylvania legend. The trek lines lay out the story of the history that became Reading. At the edge of the city, at the top of the hill, is the pagoda. This is one of the more unique monuments in Reading as it fills up the skyline. In Reading, the skyline has a one-of-a-kind object. You can see it from miles away, especially when illuminated at night. The pagoda, built in 1908. It has an interesting story behind it, becoming one of the city's icons. The pagoda was inspired by Asian architecture and commissioned to be a luxury resort overlooking the beautiful city from the end of Mount Penn. Its background is a poetic story of struggle, adversity, strength, and perseverance. But that doesn't stop the enjoyment of visiting the pagoda, and from this bench, falling in love with the scenery and breathtaking views. So the pagoda fascinates me. It makes me think about all the hidden treasures that are buried deep within the state. The pagoda never opened as a resort when planned in 1908. The founder of the pagoda, William Abbott Whitman, couldn't obtain a liquor license, leading to failed plans and foreclosure. Several years later, local merchant Jonathan Mould, owner of the Beehive department store, purchased the pagoda and eventually donated it to the city of Reading. Pennsylvania's river system. Everywhere we go in the state, we come across some type of river. And it just goes to show the importance of the river system to the whole state, and every city finding their own means to make it work for them. We're in Pennsylvania, and we can't tour a city without talking about the river that flows by it. In the city of Reading, that river is the Schuylkill River. We find ourselves walking along the path of the Schuylkill River, flowing through Philadelphia all the way to Reading. The river remains at the heart of Pennsylvania's great industrial story. In the city of Reading, it forms a tributary called the Tulpehocken Creek. The creek opens a gateway to the Great Pennsylvania Expansion. This connection was a contributing factor in creating a path to the Allegheny side of Pennsylvania, reaching western cities like Pittsburgh and Lake Erie. But the creek didn't just benefit the West, it also led to Union Canal, which eventually connected to Susquehanna and created the first trails to the anthracite coal mines.
Doing that again.
It always fascinates me how a small area of America can have so many contributions to creating a modern world, and a handful of rivers becoming the first tools of transportation to expand these groundbreaking discoveries. Reading is a city with history from all angles, and one of them is food. For a quick lunch break, I decided to shop around for a local favorite, Pretzels, to curb our appetite as we explore the city's foundation.
Fantastic.
Along the city of Reading, you see the lines that became famous, the track lines from the railroads. This city hosts many famous train brands, and it just tells the story of Pennsylvania's economic growth through the railroads that transported anthracite coal throughout the state. Let's go through the photos of the trains that filled these track lines. If you want to speak about history, then let's speak about the trains and railroads of Reading. And what a grand history it's been. The most notable line? The Philadelphia and Reading Railroad. It was one of America's first railroads and earliest components of what grew into the Reading Company. And the purpose of this railroad was to carry coal from the anthracite mines. The railroad line was an immediate success, taking over the canal industry in an effort to fill homes with coal and replace the use of wood for heat. In the late 1980s came Reading and Northern, whose primary service is still transporting anthracite coal. They purchased the remains of former tracks, over 300 miles of railroad. Reading's train lines became famous, a worldwide phenomenon, when Philadelphia and Reading eventually became the Reading Lines Railroad. But in the mix of prosperity and success, also came bankruptcy and a dark history. During the days of the Philadelphia and Reading Railroad Company, the city experienced the massacre, the Great Railroad Strike of 1877, that led to the death of 16 people and injury of over 200. The strike occurred during the Long Depression, a worldwide price and economic recession. The railroads were the biggest factor in expanding America's industrialization, and Reading can easily claim to be a part of that manuscript. So much history. It makes us forget the hardships our forefathers went through, and the tracks whisper the tales of yesteryear, of what once was the dominant industry of Reading. Let's venture to the city by visiting the William Penn Memorial on Mount Penn, not too far from the pagoda. If we toured Penn's Landing in Philadelphia, then Reading gets a branch of that history. The city was founded by William Penn's sons, Thomas and Richard Penn. A city at the intersection of two great valleys, the Penn-Lebanon Valley and the Schuylkill River. And what is the city of Reading today? As I drive by Reading High School and reminisce about the boys basketball state championship victory, Reading's story is similar in becoming that of icons and legends. Or a city that is full of diversity in art. From Goggle Works Art Museum to Reading's Public Museum, the city is filled with exuberant entertainment, an industrial machine that became world famous with transportation. The city of Reading, a city that gave Pennsylvania icons with its railroads. Reading has amazing views because it rests between two valleys. It has tasty snacks as one of the pioneers in pretzel making, and a history that pushed the Commonwealth forward when it came to changing America. This is Jose for On Tour. If you like what you've seen today, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share. If you want to know more about the places I've been to, please see the links below. Until next time.